Hello, I hope this video finds you well wherever you are. This is my second video in what I guess you could call a COVID Codingbat series. Every night I'm going to record a solution to one of the Codingbat problems to share with my students and anyone else out there that's learning to code. And so we're going to work on this Python section under Warm-Up 1 Monkey Trouble. So let's dive in. You'll notice that I have a whole bunch of code already written, and I've done that because I'm going to talk about some theory and look at a couple different ways to approach this problem. So let's understand the problem. We have two monkeys, A and B, and the parameters A smile and B smile indicate if each is smiling. We are in trouble if they are both smiling or if neither of them is smiling. Return true if we are in trouble. And so we can look at this example here, and we see that if we pass true, meaning monkey A is smiling, and B smile is true, we're in trouble because they're both smiling, so the function should return true. If A smile is false and B smile is false, we should return true because neither of them are smiling, meaning that we are in trouble. And the third example, if A smile is smiling and B smile is not smiling, we are not in trouble because remember it says we are in trouble if they are both smiling or if neither of them is smiling. So let's dive in and let's first talk about, make sure we understand the method header. So we have this method and we see it's called monkey trouble, and we have two parameters, A smile, B smile. And what's interesting about this case is that those two parameters are Booleans, meaning that we know every single possible call that could be made. And that means we can map out, using a truth table, all the possibilities and the correct output. So we have false, false, which will return true, meaning we're in trouble. We have false, true, returning false, which means we are not in trouble. True, false, returning false, which means we are not in trouble. And true, true, returning true, meaning we're in trouble. So as a beginning programmer, the initial way that a lot of students will approach this is they'll map out each of these as an individual if statement. So, and that's what I've done here. So what I've done is I've taken each of the possibilities and written an individual if statement for that. Now before I go on, one thing I just really want to highlight is when you are writing out this truth table, I would really encourage you to get in the habit of starting from the right hand side, if you're dealing with Booleans, always go false, true, and then as you move left, you increase by powers of 2. False, false, true, true. If you had a third one, you would do 4 falses and 4 trues. If you set up your truth table like this every time, it means that if you're working with other people, you have a consistent approach. If you're writing the IB exam and there's a truth table problem, it means that the examiner knows is probably going to have their solution set up like that, meaning it's a lot easier for them to see, to compare your answer. Okay, so we can see this works. We have if A smile is false and B smile is false, and works fine. Now, one of the things you might notice is that we have two possible outcomes. We have a true situation and we have a false situation. So 2 cases we get true and 2 cases we get false. And one thing you could do is you could use a Boolean operator here, and you could simplify this to look like this. So what we've done here is we've used an OR statement, and we've put both the cases where we return true. So if A smile is equivalent to false and B smile is false, or A smile is true and B smile is true, we return true, else, and we put the other 2 situations. And so this is just a nice kind of progression of understanding how to use this OR operator. Because notice this is my true case and that's my true case, and I've simply grouped them together. And we see that works. Now, the next thing that's really interesting to observe here, there's a relationship in that if the state of the monkeys match, we're in trouble. And if you can see this up here, notice that if they're both false, we're in trouble. And if they're both true, we're in trouble. So as opposed to comparing them to false and true, what we can do is compare them to themselves. And that leaves us with this situation. We can say, if A smile is the same as B smile, we're in trouble. Return true, else return false. And that works perfectly fine. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to clean this up a little bit. So one of the things is that in this situation, because this else is the last thing, and remember when we hit a return statement, the function stops, I always recommend cleaning that up by removing the else. This is a nicer way to set it up because remember when we reach this return statement, the function's done. So there's no need to do any continuing check down below. So we're just going to comment this out. Actually, let's run it. There we go. And finally, the last thing that you can do to clean this up is you can simply write it as one line like this. Because this returns a Boolean statement, and an if statement is evaluating a Boolean statement, we can simply return the Boolean statement itself. Because remember, if this statement here is true, we return true. If this statement here is false, we return false. So we simply just return the statement. And that's it. I want to end this with one last little statement just as a side note. And I'm going to come back up here and comment in our first one. I often get comments like this, and I appreciate there's always ways to shorten your code. Someone might ask me is, can I do this? Actually, let's do this. I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste this down below just to kind of clean up. When I'm teaching, I often start off by writing the explicit comparison here, and then a student always asks me, can I shorten this in this fashion? And the answer is yes. So let me just show you. So see here I have b smile is equivalent to true. Because b smile is a Boolean, it is true or false. So what I can do here is I can just say if b smile. And so all the places I can simply just say if a smile, and here I can say if b smile, and so there I can simply do this. Now the situations where it's false, remember, is that the question is if this statement evaluates to true, then we return true. So what I can do is I can use the not operator. So I can actually take this and I can just say if not a smile and not b smile. And so what that does, the not operator inverts a Boolean. So if a smile is true, it becomes false, and vice versa. So again, here I can simplify this. I can put not there. I can take this and I can put a not here. And oh, we have a comment. Let me just pause this and find the error. I've seen it, my error was right here. I had written that small little section incorrectly. So I hope this video helped, and please don't hesitate to ask questions, and I encourage you to keep programming.